The next speaker will be Rooney from Sanofi, who will give us the viewpoint of industry. We mentioned a little bit industry before, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more.
Well, thank you for inviting me to participate to this panel to represent the industry stakeholders. There are many other representatives from industry in the audience who please don't hesitate to give you.
Thomas, we're just having trouble hearing, I think, down the back. If we could just speak directly into it. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
To participate and give you a view as well. Just to say how we have come to know the GPND and how we've worked with the GPND. So we participated, I represented Sanofi to the stakeholder meeting in Milan in May, to the meeting in Rome to define the SRA, and I also had the honor of being asked to participate to the review board for the colon biomarkers that was held in Berlin in November. So, as you've probably heard today, people there's a clear need in how we develop drugs for Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases to really look at how we can do things differently. And why is that? One of the major reasons is that for neurodegenerative diseases, and particularly for Alzheimer's disease, is the lack of new therapies that have been approved over the last, say, 5-6 years or more. So there is a bottleneck in drug development to provide new therapies that can help patients that are suffering from these neurodegenerative diseases. There are, as you know, exciting therapies that are currently in clinical development, for which new results will be available in the next few years. But the future treatment of Alzheimer's disease is not going to be met with a magic bullet. The future treatment is going to be based on several therapies, maybe polypharmacy and other approaches that will be based on a patient-centered treatment of the disease, Alzheimer's and other diseases. And this is an aspect that we really have to work together with because it's new. It's not just working from a single target, taking a single therapy and seeing if this will then work in an Alzheimer's population. It's to really try and better understand the pathophysiology, reinforce translational research, translational medicine to make us more confident in our preclinical data, and also to better work with the stakeholders and the members of the GPND, how to select patients for clinical trials, what endpoints to use in clinical trials to show efficacy, and to work also with maybe the regulatory authorities to see about how we can design clinical trials perhaps in a different way. Those are the key messages that I took from the GPND, where industry, I think, is very interested. We should also remember that one of the major challenges the industry will face for their therapies is what criteria will they use to launch a phase 3 clinical trial? And here is where the bottleneck is, amongst many others. It's what gives us confidence that we will go to a phase 3 trial. And we can work in many ways, public, private, 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 public, on that area, because the trials don't necessarily have to be big. They just have to be well designed, and they have to have markers that gives us confidence in either the mechanism of action or that that mechanism of action will have a therapeutic benefit. We also have many compounds that have failed in clinical trials. Many of these are safe. So there's also a possibility to try and look and work with public organizations how we can also advance and decrease these bottlenecks. I would expect from the action plan that was given to see the real development on trying to de-block the bottlenecks. And by de-blocking the bottlenecks, decrease the risk of drug development for neurodegenerative diseases and Alzheimer's.
Very good, very clear. Well, the pillars of our research will be to find the mechanism and to find the models in which prove this mechanism and prove also the drugs that we are interested in. So I think we are trying to address what you say. Of course, it's not easy then to find solutions, but we will try to do them. The next speaker, Marcelis Boereboom, will provide us with the view of a funder. Funding research is an important a key point. What is your point of view on JPND and what are your suggestions?
Yeah, thank you, Madam. First of all, I would thank you very much for inviting me on this very important day. I'm very honored by that. Thank you very much. In the Netherlands, 250,000 people now is suffering from Alzheimer, and in 2030 we expected that has been doubled. And the Dutch government recognized the need for take action and to deal with this. As a Director General responsible for long-term care in the Netherlands, I see three main challenges. The first main challenge is to improve the living conditions from those people suffering from Alzheimer, and not only for the people themselves but also for their relatives. In the past 8 years we have executed programs aiming to improve the quality of care of people with Alzheimer, and by now in almost in my whole country integrated care is available. The second challenge is the financial sustainability of our healthcare system, because I'm convinced that the financial sustainability of our systems is really a problem. And in the Netherlands, this sustainability is now in discussion, because from all OECD countries we spend most part of our BNP on healthcare, and we have now the second place after the United States. And the third challenge is that the number of people suffering from Alzheimer will increase, and the total amount of elderly people will increase, but at the same time our working force in healthcare doesn't keep pace with this increase, and I'm really afraid for a shortage of people who want to work in the healthcare system in the long term. And that means that more knowledge on the causes of MD, on Alzheimer, on diagnostics, on treatments and on care is, in my view, essential to face these challenges. And I'm really happy to see that so many European countries work together to improve research and to make the best possible use of the available research, of the available capacity and of the available funding. And until real treatment can't be expected in the next years, I'm very enthusiastic that also approaches to improve quality of life is a part of the GPND program, because I really think that is essential. As we know, budgets of all governments in the European countries are under heavy pressure, and I don't think that we can expect that all the funds will increase rapidly. But from that point of view, it is very important to bring all the knowledge, all the funds together. And I hope that as a cooperative country, we shall be able to support all these research activities. We in the Netherlands now will participate with the universities and all stakeholders to set up a master plan for Alzheimer, which we will present to the Minister of Health in the end of the year. And I think it's very good, can be very good be connected with the program you launched today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your opinion. Last but not least, we hear a scientist who will tell us what he feels about JPND. He is also a member of our management board, so he has to speak highly about us, I believe.
Thank you.
Michal.
Thank you, Adriana, for introducing me. I will be slightly more personal how I perceive all these activities. I'm working in AD research for 30 years. I started in the 80s. I was privileged enough to be in the UK at the great plant, LMB, which boasts more than 12 Nobel laureates, and to learn how the big science is being made. And I was very lucky that then Marcy felt it was time to open a big question. What is the cause of the Alzheimer's disease? After 10 years of working there, I returned back home to I'm coming from Slovakia with 5 million citizens. And of course, perceiving Alzheimer's disease and neurodegeneration as a major challenge to mankind. All of us know that there is more than 7 million sufferers. All of us know that it is an enormous burden to society, 100 billion euros. All of us know that in 20 years it will double. And I am horrified to see in my country that we are just facing another election and I don't hear a word about neurodegeneration, about future of the nation, of its health, how they will and how we shall overcome these problems. I personally perceive JPND as an initiative which came to our rescue. Why? Because it clearly states, not even in the wording, that there were more than 200 clinical trials which failed. And if we read between lines, the clear messages of JPND that we had to come up with a disease-modifying treatment rather soon than late. Therefore, we have to unite, to combine our forces. I perceive JPND as an initiative which creates for us opportunities to learn, which create opportunities for us to share our resources, cohorts, markers, antibodies, animal models for everyone in this initiative. And an initiative which advances science, an initiative, an opportunity which take dementia research to next level. I'm very grateful to this. And that it's not just emotional words that JPND came to our rescue. There are already witnesses. Witnesses in the participants, for example, in the call on biomarkers led by giant in the field, Professor Imblad, Biomarker Project, where is nearly more than 30 participants. So isn't it enough to say how needed was this initiative to open fair discussion about problems, to share, to learn, to promote. Thank you for this initiative, and I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Very good.